I don't think I properly explained what my problem is with the whole entire... Oh! Well, you see, in the past, we've always been there. You see, you dealt with all this dark chaos emeralds energy, and your grandparents, yada yada yada, drained all the chaos energy, blah 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 blah, bullcrap, properly. And why it kind of stalls my head. Because, quite frankly, when you do it like this, you're taking something away. Rather than making it feel like you're taking away from the girls, and that you're taking away from their own mythology and trying to replace it with Sonic. In a way, you're making all of Equestria feel inferior and not really allowing the two universes to have a comparison and to shine through. I think the best way to demonstrate a bond between the many universes comes from two sources. Number one comes from my own little brother, and I hate tooting my little brother's horn, but he has an idea about using Ing and the moon spirits from the comics, saying that the Ing helps corrupt them. Now, why does this work instead of Sonic? Well, very, very simple. Because there, it doesn't feel like he's directly saying, oh, the Ing were the ones that caused Nightmare Moon. The Ing were the ones that created her. And it's only because the Ing all the bad stuff happened. No. It just says that the Ing helped lead to the Umbra, which helped led into Nightmare Moon. Perfect, sweet, and it creates a good link. Does it leave a feeling of one is superior than the other? Or does it say that one is responsible always for the other? It just feels like each one is connected to the other. But here, it feels like it's that the only way you can hope to get these girls as powerful as Sonic and the others is to ditch everything about Equestria and only have Sonic there. It feels like it's trying to say that you can't have the girls be the girls and be as strong as they should be. Another good example of this would be, say you're trying to do a Marvel story with the Power Rangers. And instead of letting the Power Rangers shine through and be heroes in their own right, have Iron Man say, yeah, by the way, about your spandex, I don't think it's any good. Here's the Stark Armor. Now, while Stark Armored Power Rangers is cool and all, you're also kind of saying that the Power Rangers are so weak and pathetic that they need the Stark Armor in order to match up with some of the other credible threats. Which, one, is insulting. Two, you then have to ask yourself, why are you doing a crossover with the Rangers anyway? Let the Rangers be themselves. This is one of the things I get worried about when I see the Justice League and Power Rangers crossover. I'm just thinking, oh, please, let somebody with talent be writing this and not be little Mr. Yeah, the Justice League's so much more awesome than the Power Rangers. The Justice League never does anything goofy. Once again, face meets palm. Oh yeah, and the Power Ranger villains, oh, by the way, the Justice League villains never monologue or do something so stupid as to let the hero live. Right, Joker? I suppose another great example is Arcane Strikers Hasbroverse. Again, there. Not saying that the Autobot Matrix is more powerful than yada yada yada, but try to find a balance. As like with anything you're writing and anything you're trying to craft, there needs to be balanced. Oh, in case anybody's wondering what you're missing, Night Rose, Night Moves, has created her own dark castle above the city. We now return you back to your pathetic piece of slime fanfic created by 10-year-olds, already in progress. And they've got the Blue Typhoon, and then they're flying high in the sky. As they're flying, that is when the men decided to start fighting against the mooks. And everybody starts kung fu fighting. Meanwhile, the girls, since they're not allowed to be martial artists, are busy shooting things up like they're freaking Star Wars or something. Complete with Fluttershy going, I will destroy you all! Because, you know, at least one scene has to have Fluttershy doing that because, you know, we need to make sure that Fluttershy is denying her character as much as possible. Oh, by the way, Dark's sister Lilac has shown up. Surprised? So am I. And after that Power Rangers S-Foul, the Aero Troopers starts firing, and Tails thinks that they went through their defenses. And that is when an energy blast right through the Blue Typhoon. Oh, the poor little toy. And then fired again, causing it to blow out of the sky. Poor Tails. We'll forever remember him. So, who's ready for Chinese? But of course Tails isn't dead because, well, for one thing, this author believes too much in a romance. And two, did you really think that this author was going to kill off one of his favorite characters? Please! That would be about as stupid as me killing off of the Sonic cast back in my younger days. So continuing on, after everybody is sad, and after everybody's deciding that they need to go back and continue going through the Chaos Emeralds, they go inside and use the records of the Blue Typhoon somehow. Meanwhile, back with the bad guys. They, of course, are just waiting to kill Sonic. Disgusting. Talking. And that is when they smash in a tornado. Oh yeah! Memphis was just sitting on his throne calmly. About time you showed up. All the teens slipped out of the tornado. We're here to end your reign of chaos. Now hand over the Chaos Emeralds. Gladly, when we're done with them. Oh, well, that's all. Guess I'll see you later. Bye, guys. Split! Or we can start the useless battle. And here we go! And it's a huge battle. Oh, wait. Apparently the author wants us to play Sick of It by Skillet. Well, once again, I refuse to use Skillet's name in vain in any type of way possible. So instead, and thus the battle commences. And if you're going to guess that the main six do nothing during this whole fight, you'd be right! Well, there is a scene where Rainbow is given one of the Chaos Emeralds that turns into Chaos Guardian Pretty Rainbow Dash, but it still doesn't mean a thing because Sonic and the others are still fighting, and well, at least there's some roboticization, but I remind you again, the problem with putting in roboticization anywhere near Eggman. Here's the problem. Sonic! Hey, Mr. Robot, will you please stop trying to hurt Sonic the Hedgehog? You might kill him! As I said once, and I'll say it again, giving Eggman the keys to robotization makes no sense. Maybe the Robotnik from Sonic Forces. Maybe. Maybe even the Robotnik from Sonic Generations. Okay. But Eggman from Sonic X? No. I'm sorry, guys, but no. I'm sorry, video game Sonic fans, but no. He would not handle it. You tell him, oh, by the way, the robotization takes all free will. He would most likely go, what? I don't want to take all free will. That's just wrong. I mean, I could hurt people. Because I remind you, the games that Eggman? Not exactly, you know, Ganondorf. You're really trying to make this guy seem like a threat when he's not. If you were to use Satan Robotnik, okay. But not Eggman Robotnik. And not this twerp. Saying that he's going to bring roboticizing people makes me think of the same reaction that you would have if you told me Demontox is a real villain. or the same type of reaction I would give you if you told me that Master Vile is, you know, the worst villain of all. I'd be laughing at you. I'd be rolling on the ground laughing. And then, after the Chaos Emerald is ripped out of Neos' body, suddenly Twilight gets the new Chaos Emerald and becomes Twilight Sparkle Chaos Mage! I would play the Sailor Moon theme here, but you don't deserve it. She had a purple hood with a book in her left hand and a staff in her right and had a metal purple breastplate was levitating off the ground. I hope she had some freaking pants! Meanwhile, Dark and Ace were trying to shoot night moves with Chaos and Dark Beams. However, since I don't care about these two OCs, I'm just going to continue speeding on through and hope that I find something interesting in me before I once again proceed to blow a gasket. And then we move on to where Mephiles decides to hand over the take the Chaos Emeralds for himself, starts transforming the three villains into Nightmare Overlord, Nightmare Rose, and Dark Memphis! And I can't help but notice that technically this is following DB's normal Sonic Games logic, in that Robotnik is taken out of the picture. Good lord! That's the biggest fine performance Fandy I ever heard! And now, the final chapter. The teens are standing the hill, looking at Mel Overlord, Memphis, and Nightmare Rose. And the girls are still not here, and all my Pokemon are asleep. Guys, wake up! Jolt! 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 Suddenly, Mel Overlord roared. He spit out 7 great objects. Patooey! Here you go, your 7 Chaos Emeralds. Well, one of them's actually 13. He's just starting out as a teenager. The girls picked up the emeralds and looked up. Jolteon! Nah, jolt, jolt! We can store the Chaos Emeralds, but it requires either the positive or negative energy for the emotions. Yeah. Didn't we already kind of establish this back there? But just for us 14 are enough to fill them completely. 14? Yeah, the math works out. Then Silver remembered something. The prophecy! Oh yeah, that thing that was only mentioned once or twice during the beginning part of the story, and I kind of forgotten about too. And if you're anyone like me, people, you've probably forgotten about it too. Servers are the 7 chaos. Chaos is power. Power enriched by the heart. Harmony is control. Control of the chaos power. Ooh, naughty. Chaos and harmony join together to stop the darkness. And that is when 7 beams shot out of the scroll, causing Knuckles to fall backwards. Fire towards each of the girls holding a Chaos Emerald. Sweet. My, how typically is Sonic. Beans didn't go into the Chaos Emeralds, they went into the girls. My, what an utter shock. Well, actually, I would be shocked, but this is kind of cliche as it is. Each of the emeralds singing the beam with Rainbow Dash, the Chaos Ninja. Shouldn't Pinkie Pie beat the ninja? Oh, you really think I'm being that so stealthy? Well, what I mean is that you know how to use everything to your advantage. Rainbow Dash a freaking ninja? What? You could have picked anything? Rainbow Dash the duelist. Rainbow Dash the puncher. Rainbow Dash the runner. But ninja? What? If Rainbow Dash is a ninja, then Naruto's a samurai! Rarity the Chaos Archer. Okay, I'm okay with that. Sunset Silver the Chaos Knight. Okay, not too bad. Twilight Sparkle the Chaos Mage. Okay. And then he got hit by the beam. Fluttershy the Chaos Tamer. Ooh. Pinkie Pie, the Chaos Gunner. What? And Applejack, the Chaos Cowgirl. I couldn't come up with a good name for Applejack and Fluttershy's Chaos Guardian forms. Well, at least the author admits it! Gotta give the author credit! And of course, now that the girls are powered up, it's time for Sonic, Shadow, and Silver to get super modes, and Dark and Ace to fuse, and Tails, Knuckles, and... oh wait, there was only those two left. Get, of course, what else? Diddly Squat. But I suppose I should be a little bit happier that the girls are actually getting a chance to fight Memphis. There's just one teeny tiny little bitty problem with this. I don't really feel like it's the girls doing this. I don't really feel like it's the girls fighting under their own power. I don't feel like it's the girls pulling out their own strengths. I don't feel like it's the girls actually doing this. I feel like it's just Sonic throwing the girls a bone. It's the same problem I have with Starfleet. One of several problems I have with Starfleet in general is that it never feels like it's the girls of their own power. It's Starfleet who gives them these energy gems or what the fuck ever. And it's Starfleet who gives them the strength and the power to fight on. And it's Starfleet who gives them the ability to handle these things. No, the girls don't need that. They never did. They are powerful, strong enough on their own. And if you feel like you need to throw them a bone by giving them all these upgrades and other bullshit, then why are you doing a crossover in the first place? Other than, of course, to mock them. Sometimes you just need to understand that these girls have their own strengths and abilities and advantages that you can use to exploit and give them the strength on their own to fight without having to feel like you're trying to just throw them a bone from the other places you like and use. For example, again, in Shooting Stars, the girls get super modes where they can transform to alicorns for a short time period. Do we say that they're Chozo? No! We're just saying that it's a part of the history of the world by using the powers of the elements. In Evolution of Friendship, am I saying that it's the DC Universe that's giving these girls super modes? No! It's their own power! They're just linking up to the morphing grid, and anybody who's watched Power Rangers or Super Sentai or Kamen Rider could tell you that 9 times out of 10, it's not the power that chooses you. You usually prove yourself worthy of the power, much like they did when they first got the freaking elements. I'm just doing the same thing there as they did in the show where they proved themselves worthy of the elements in the freaking pilot! These whole entire Chaos Forms things just feels like he's going, well, I can't think of anything else to give the girls to make them be able to fight my monsters, so I'm just going to give them these random Chaos power-ups. Again, exactly like how Starfleet does it. The only difference between here and Starfleet is that Starfleet is way more insulting to them. Hell, I had fun basically destroying Mike's whole entire philosophy behind that when I was actually having the girls fight and learn of their own powers and abilities on their own. Oh sure, Rainbow Dash may use the Speed Force, but that is something everybody can use. Applejack may learn Hormone. Well, guess what? I actually have Applejack learn and use Hormone because explain it in a way that matches the world of that story. Here, it's just Chaos modes. Feels less like there's something connected, and it takes me out of the fight. And there is a huge rumble between Amy and Lilac, and then the fight continues on and 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 on. And on 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 and on.
until finally blowing up Nightmare Rose by stabbing her in the forehead, and he also leaves off with a note of ha, it's not over yet, ha 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 ha. And meanwhile, with Metal Overlord, there's a giant fight with Silver, but it plays off like you must expect. It plays off like one of the video game fights, with only just a random appearance by Tails. Again, there are ways you can do this, and there are ways you can't. This type of fight, by just throwing in these random descriptions, does not make it good. And again, by adding in all this Sonic stuff, doesn't make me feel like I'm reading the girls fighting. It makes me feel like it's fans of your OCs that are battling Memphis right about now, and not the girls. And thus the blast fight continues until they all manage to take out Memphis. And hit Lauren. This whole entire thing warns about death scene. What? One of the girls are going to die? No, I'm sorry. It's Memphis dying. And so everybody gets ready to leave, and not a single fuck was given. Everybody says their goodbyes, and everybody goes home happy. And there's supposed to be some sort of epilogue with a preview chapter. So I say no X and A on the story A. Oh, yeah. No, sir, I didn't like it. I just really didn't like this fic. If other people, as I always said, if other people really, really like it and find it to be grand and glorious and a whole lot of fun and to be exciting and to be one of the best darn fanfics they've ever seen in their lives, fine. I don't care. I don't give a flip, and quite frankly, I don't care. It's your life. I always say this, and I will keep saying this. You want to enjoy a bad fic? Be my guest. You want to enjoy a story where this type of stuff happens? Be my guest. But for me, personally, as a person who actually enjoys this stuff, no. I did not like it. And I think you might guys see why I really, really don't like this fic. First of all, for a fic about the Equestria girls in Sonic, you know what I discovered? The Equestria girls probably had to amount as little screen time as possible. Their worth was just to be there to be cheerleaders, at best. And the whole entire end fight with Memphis or whatever just felt like they were throwing him a bone. Any sense of characters that the girls had in this whole entire story was sucked dry. Oh, sir, the basics were there. Applejack was southern. Pie was excited. Fluttershy was quiet. Actually, now that I think about it, Applejack and Pinkie Pie didn't show up much. To the surprise of no one. And Rarity was fabulous. But by making these characters so basic, so one note, you're taking away what made them themselves, and thus they're not really the girls I like. Not really the girls I care for and enjoy. Personalities are so one note, so bare bones, that it really does feel like a 10-year-old wrote this. And of course, there are plot holes plenty due to the fact that the author tried to mix every bit of Sonic lore into one story. But you can't really do that without causing several different complications, especially if you try to put mirrors Sonic Underground with the other Sonic realities. I've done it myself, but that was back when I was 13. But
even with that, even I knew at that point, you can't really do that and come up with a good story. All you'd be doing is just confusing the audience. Even confusing me, a die-hard Sonic fan. All I'm doing is trying to figure out where and what's going on. It also doesn't help that by mixing these two universes, you're forgetting the huge differences in characterizations with characters like Robotnik. Thus, you're removing something that could have been special or fun. And of course, the romance being written from a 10-year-old's perspective feels hackneyed. It feels like somebody only looked at it at one point and just went on. So, does this make the worst fanfic I've ever read in my life? Believe it or not, no, it really doesn't. And yes, the age of the authors has a lot to do with it. If this was written by an adult, then yeah, I would be up in arms. I would think these people were the worst. And yeah, this would rank high amongst the categories of, say, like Mike and Von Doom. But these are children. And that's something I bear in mind when I was starting to riff the later parts of it. Part of why I was starting to lose interest. Because these were kids that made this. These were kids that did the story. I'm not expecting them to change anything. I'm not expecting them to change their story. They're 10 freaking years old. And like Likar said, nobody at 13 ever wrote anything of awesome. Unless we find out K-Cat was 13 when she wrote it, but no, nobody 13 years old. And nobody does it when they're 10. Hell, you guys have already seen 4 times now some of my worst crap. You guys see the pain and the misery I've gone through. So yeah, being 10 really shows that, really does play out that, yeah, this fic may be horrible, but this is like looking at a 10-year-old who's fanfic. You're basically looking at a story and going, well, this is bad. Well, of course it's bad. It'd be like sitting back and listening to a kindergartner tell you his whole entire fanfics, and you hear all these plot holes. Do you really think that hearing about how Winnie the Pooh and Pinkie Pie went off to discover a honey tree together, do you really think, looking at that 5-year-old and trying to tell him that fic has no character development, no plot, and it just meanders on and on and on because that little 5-year-old had to add Batman and Superman to their story? Do you really think that telling him all that is going to matter? All the best you could do is tell them, well, it's funny, but there are some things you could do. You can't just start telling a kid that this is horrible. Because sometimes that really does hurt a little bit of their creativity. It sometimes does mess with a kid. Because you start telling them, you're horrible, you'll never make it. It kind of does something to their brains. It makes them think they're worthless. It makes them feel bad about themselves. The only thing you can do at that point is, when you see this type of stuff, is just tell them, well, it's okay. And try to tell them the things that you do like about it without going too far into what you hate. Because those kids, they need that. They need to know what they love, what you love about their work. So that way they can, experiment and
when they're 14, 15, 16, yeah, go ahead. Destroy them! Destroy them with vigor. Hell, when they're older and they're adults and you find their old stuff, go ahead and destroy them! Make them suffer! But when they're kids, no. Let me put it this way. Imagine yourself as a child. And you got told that. Would you want that? Would you really want somebody to look at you and say that your stuff that you spent so long creating sucks that bad and you want that and you taste it bleed? No. So, yeah. This is not the worst fanfic I've ever read. I mean, it sucks, but it sucks in the way that a 10-year-old made it. And sucks in the same way that my little brother crafted a fanfic about Double D joining the Justice League. It sucks in that light. And that kind of makes it feel less painful because it does end up feeling more like you're attacking a guy when he's down. So, bad. Yeah. But it's only bad in the fact that the 10-year-old made it. This is why my kid still sucks to high heaven. Well, that was one down, thousands more to go. Next time?
My name is Fluttershy, and I work at the Cloud Factory. Well, lately, I've been having a lot of bad dreams of another world, of other friends.
Next time, to make old friends.